It coming up.
They started their season hot and then ended it a little rocky, but you know what? They clawed past the Guardians. I'm Scott Walchek. How Tigers fever is back.
Working for you. Fox 2 News at 5 starts.
We will never forget this incident, but I promise that we will not let this define Grand Blanc.
A new body cam video from Grand Blanc Township Police showing them confront the shooter at the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints. Good evening, everyone. I'm Taryn Asher.
And I'm Brandon Hudson. 4 people were killed. 8 others were hurt when the gunman opened fire during Sunday service.
At last check, 3 victims are still in the hospital. Fox News' Camille Amiri was at that press conference today. She's joining us now live with the new details she's learned, the reaction from that video with that police response. Camille.
Yeah, a lot to unpack here. Let's break it down now. The press conference was very short, about 15 minutes at the most, but we did learn a new timeline. Originally, you probably remember that they said it took 8 minutes from the time that officers arrived to neutralize the threat, which is taking out the shooter. But now, after reviewing video and audio recordings, they've determined that it took less than 4 minutes. Now, I want you to take a look at some more of that body cam video released today, and I want to warn you, it can be disturbing to some.
These shots being fired. South end of the building. South end of the building.
Active shot. South end of the building.
I got your back here, man. Yeah, stay there. Get on the ground. Get on the ground. Shoot him. Shoot him. Get back. Get back.
This is what law enforcement is trained to do. And this is how law enforcement should respond to these incidents. That's what we swear an oath to protect and serve. As the officers stand right now, both of them are on paid administrative leave, meaning that they are not actively going out and responding to calls for service.
And coming up tonight at 6, hundreds of people from the faith-based community here in Genesee County got together to learn more about tactical training, what to do if you find yourself in this situation. We've heard always to run, hide, fight. They learned more about that and what kind of plan they should come up with in case something like this ever happens at their church. Reporting live in Genesee County, Camille Amiri, Fox 2 News.
And we heard about those officers, the Grand Blanc Township police officer, the DNR officer. They're still out pending an investigation if this was a justifiable shooting.
Yeah, I mean, this is a paid administrative leave. This is just a proper procedure that they have to go through. Basically, they have to be on paid leave while this investigation continues. But also, too, the police chief said he wanted to release the video now because he didn't want to wait 3 or 4 weeks and then reopen wounds. He wanted to get it out there in the open so people saw it. People knew what these officers were up against and what they did, which everyone says is quite heroic.
Yeah, it could start the healing process. All right, Camille, thanks for that report. Well, also tonight, Michigan has a new budget after months of uncertainty. A bipartisan deal that covers education and pours billions into roads, public safety, and health care. Fox News' Hillary Golston is here now to break it down and answer some of your questions. Hillary?
Yeah, so that total now about $80 billion. And here's the context. We know it. Life is expensive right now everywhere. Michigan is no exception. Based on that MIT living wage calculator, for a single adult in Michigan, the living wage is estimated at $20.97 an hour. Now, for 2 adults with 1 working parent and 1 child, it's almost $36. So I wanted to see what people were saying about this. Look at this. Bree wrote in and said, yeah, all road funding is now the responsibility of marijuana smokers. Should be allowed in the public then. What happens when people quit again? Where is the money going to come from? Then check this out. Other folks commenting as well. Bobby says it's even more if you think about the price of gas going up because of Michigan's gas tax. Now, he also talked about the school aid bill, which passed. This bipartisan deal will keep free breakfast and lunch for all students all across the state, a program that served more than 76 million breakfasts and more than 135 million lunches last school year. Now, the plan also locks in nearly $2 billion for long-term road funding, $26 million for Selfridge Air National Guard Base, and the highest ever school allowance, $10,050 per student. Some other highlights include tax relief, no taxes on tips, overtime, or, if you might know, Social Security, plus new funding for health care, public safety, and literacy programs. We talked with Governor Whitmer and State Rep Mark Tisdale about Medicaid and cannabis. We're going to listen to them in that order.
I'll get the budget sometime this weekend and I'll sign it early next week. But the efforts that we took to make sure that we don't miss out on hundreds of millions of dollars, we got that done as well, depending on how they interpret things at the federal level. So, I mean, there were a lot of pieces that were very much in flux, and we've shored it up here at the state level.
There's going to be some give and take in there, and you had to look at politics being the realm of the possible, and this was one of the areas where we could get an agreement on both sides of the aisle to increase revenues. Personally, I wanted to see the tax, if there had to be one on cannabis, on the retail price where everyone could see it and feel it. That would have required a 3/4 vote.
All right, so getting back to cannabis, members of the pot industry rallied at the Capitol to try and stop the tax, but no cigar. Nope. And that tax could have held up the entire deal. So a lot of people are probably happy that it passed.
Yeah, $420 million. But, you know, we've spoken to a lot of the owners of these cannabis businesses, and they're worried. They think they're going to go out of business because they can't carry that tax.
Yeah, look, when I was talking actually to Representative Tisdale, we went back and forth about this, and he said, okay, some of that's going to be absorbed in other ways. I said, ultimately, the buck stops with who? Yeah. The consumer. And he obviously agrees with that. But I think that lawmakers had to figure out something. They're trying to fund the government. They were right up to the deadline, right? So they had to figure it out, and this was the deal.
Yeah, because California just lowered theirs, we know, and it's just been so much controversy with this, but at least we have a budget that's passed and more money, a lot of people say, for the roads, which is a good thing.
Yeah, so that's going to be about $2 billion, and they say this is sustained funding that they're going to have through the gas tax, so we'll see exactly how that works, but you can see folks were already commenting on that, saying, it's so expensive already. We don't want any more taxes, but, you know, we'll see how this all shakes out, and remember, we've got another fiscal year, right, where they can hash it all out again next year.
All right. Hillary, thank you.
You bet.
All right. Let's go,
Tigers! Let's go, Tigers!
Tigers fans are fired up as the team exercises their demons from Cleveland. There's a collapse down the stretch. Well, that's now a distant memory, with the Tigers moving on and the Guardians staying at home. The Guardians got to raise a Central Division flag, but, you know, they can have it. Meanwhile, the Tigers, they're still playing. It is on to Seattle, where the Tigers and Mariners are facing off in the postseason for the very first time ever. Fox 2 Scott Wolchek is live tonight outside of Comerica Park with fan reaction. Scott, what a difference 36 hours makes before yesterday's game. We were all sweating bullets, not thinking this day would happen, but here we are.
You know, Brandon, on Wednesday I was in a bar with some very sad Tigers fans, and all day people have been so excited. And you can see the big old Tiger right here with the T-shirt on behind me. We've been out here at Comerica all day where fans have been having a blast. They've been taking pictures, videos with the Tiger, and they've all been storming the box offices to get some series tickets against the Mariners, because the game, the guaranteed home game here, is going to be on Tuesday. Of course, if the Tigers sweep them, that's going to be the only game here. But you know what? People are super excited, and I think that a lot of it has to do with it. We all know it took a lot to beat Cleveland on their own turf. I think that helped shake some of the woes and the fears that big season slump had on them. Take a listen to fans and what they had to say, because they are absolutely loving it.
Oh my gosh, I love the Tigers. Baseball is my favorite sport. So fired up when they beat Cleveland yesterday. It's awesome.
How excited were you when they won yesterday?
Oh my gosh, you just won't believe it. I was at work, so I was watching the box. I was watching it on the box, the MLB box. Oh my gosh, I was like, oh no, yes, come on. Yes, I was excited.
Beyond just all the things it's going to do for hotel rooms, for restaurants, for our attractions, bringing people around, it's also the national audience. It's once again another night where millions of eyeballs from across the North America and really the world are going to be focused, you know, on our Tigers and on our city.
Speaking of gritty teams, have any sports teams had a season where they started hot, then fell off, only to win it all?
Any team?
Any team.
Well,
any team.
Yankees, they always do that. Yankees do that. Yep. They up and down, up and down, up and down.
Well, one of the things I thought of was the Mavericks.
Yeah, absolutely.
When Dirk won it.
Oh my God, yeah, they're absolutely a terrible team. Dirk came, stayed loyal to the team, won a championship, and then fallen off a little bit. But you're absolutely right. That's a good analogy.
And another honorable mention would have to be the New York Giants in 2011, who started out doing extremely well, and then they ended their season on a 4-game losing streak, only to go through wild card and end up winning the Super Bowl, which is pretty incredible. And I did not know that fact until today, doing the research on it. So it is possible to have a season like the Tigers and win the World Series. So never say never. And you know what? Beating Cleveland, I'd say that's a good step in the right direction. For now, reporting live right in front of Comerica Park, downtown, Scott Walchek, Fox 2 News.
So you're saying there's a chance, basically. Look, Scott, of all the people you spoke to today, how many of them are trying to get tickets to the game next week, the home game?
You know what? A lot of people were. That lady who was extremely excited, saying yes, 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 no, no, no. She went to get some tickets, and one of the funniest things ever, if you saw on our Fox 2 streaming at 1, one of the guys who I ran into was Ryan Armani. I was like, that guy looks like Ryan, and it ended up being him. It was so funny. So we've actually ran into a lot of people out here getting tickets, just super excited.
Well, hopefully they win 2 games in Seattle, and when they come back to Detroit, it'll be to close out the series. Scott Wilczek, we do appreciate it. Thank you.
Thanks, Brandon.
Man, I wish you gave us the number on how much those tickets cost, because I think I would want to go to that.
It's anywhere from $100 to $800.
Oh, my goodness. All right. Maybe we'll watch it comfy in the studio. We are looking at quiet conditions here on Sky Tracker. We will eventually track out rain. We'll time out one in the forecast coming up. Toasty day today, and you felt it for sure. Temps managed to make it into the 80s, and it's going to be the first of a 4-long stretch day. It's going to be a long stretch of 80-degree days here across the state of Michigan. Live look over the city. We have a lot of sunshine overhead. 81 downtown, 85 in Lansing, low 80s from South Haven, the mid-80s, and Coldwater. We don't have a whole lot of precip here. Areas south and west of us into southern Michigan, seeing maybe a few pop-up showers, but that's steering clear of us, at least for now. Tonight, low temps will fall to the 60s and then eventually bottom out in the upper 50s, so not as cool as the past couple of nights. But we are looking at more heat as we head into this upcoming weekend. And we could string together 4 days of temps in the 80s. That hasn't happened since 2017, 2018. So that just shows you how unusual this warmth is for this time of year. 86 tomorrow, 86 also on Sunday. And it's still warm even into early next week. Highs will be in the mid 80s. Now, I don't think we're going to be breaking any records, but we could come close, especially tomorrow. Record at 89, 88, and 91 as we head through Monday. Now, rain is on the way. Doesn't arrive, though, until about Tuesday. And that's going to shake things up in terms of our temperatures as well. Now, luckily, even though we do have this heat, we're not necessarily tracking any high humidity either. The extended forecast shows 80s, 70s, and 60s as we head through the end of the week next week. Highs closer to seasonal with most in the 60s. Brandon and Taryn, over to you.
All right, thanks, Stephanie. A celebration on Detroit's west side as people welcomed back the statue of war hero to its rightful place.
Yeah, last year, someone stole a statue dedicated to Lieutenant Colonel Alexander Jefferson, one of the original Tuskegee Airmen. With the help of Detroit police, it's home. As planes fly through the Metro Detroit sky, it's only fitting that they soar above a field and statue dedicated to a pilot who broke barriers. On Friday, friends and family created new memories with the reinstalled statue of Lieutenant Colonel Alexander Jefferson, a prisoner of war and an original Tuskegee Airman.
Welcome to a very proud and exciting day for the city of Detroit, for the Tuskegee Airmen chapters, and for the family of Lieutenant Colonel Alexander Jefferson.
This statue was originally installed at Jefferson Field on Detroit's west side in June 2024, but then stolen several months later. Detroit police say the thief wanted it for bronze. 24 hours after the theft, investigators caught the culprit.
Thank you to the city of Detroit. Thank you to the men and women of the Detroit Police Department for bringing these perpetrators to justice quickly.
A year later, here we are.
Everybody within the city of Detroit, the family members and the Detroit chapter owes a lot of gratitude to the Detroit PD for able to recover the statue within 24 hours, for it to be put back up within a year's time of it being or just over a year of being dedicated. That's true pride.
Ernestine Laverne is Lieutenant Colonel Alexander Jefferson's granddaughter. She was one of many loved ones in attendance to mark the special occasion. As someone who was married to a Tuskegee Airman, what does that mean to see the love and appreciation?
It means that they haven't been forgotten, because during the time that they served and when they came home, no one knew anything about them.
This past summer, the post office in Mount Clemens, where Jefferson worked as a civilian, dedicated a plaque to him. The former fighter pilot also worked as an educator, and he never stopped teaching others about our history.
I had the pleasure of meeting him, speaking to him, talking to him about his POW experience. And the one thing he did say is that they treated him like an officer and a gentleman. He got treated better in Germany as a prisoner of war than he got treated in the United States.
Colonel Alexander Jefferson's story was also shared on an episode of the TV series Masters of the Air, which is on Apple Plus, which focuses on World War II pilots. Jefferson's granddaughter told me that was the first time that a TV series or movie has named her grandfather in one of its stories about the Tuskegee Airmen.
Detroit firefighters had their hands full with this fire overnight. We're told this was a vacant house, so no injuries. This house is on Clements near Livernois and Oakman Boulevard. Firefighters say they were forced to take a defensive position just to try to keep that fire from spreading anywhere else.
And this is news that's just in from New York. 50 months in prison for Sean Diddy Combs. He was convicted earlier on prostitution charges.
And today, his attorneys made one last plea for leniency. Fox's Connor Hansen with the latest.
Diddy apologized to the court, calling his behavior disgusting, shameful, and sick before he was sentenced to 50 months in federal prison on prostitution charges, including the time he's already served. His attorney telling the court, quote, Mr. Combs is not larger than life. He's just a human being. He's just a man, and he's made some mistakes. But a judge argued the 55-year-old has not accepted full responsibility for his actions and said the court could consider certain evidence presented in trial for Combs's acquitted charges of racketeering and conspiracy.
The judge knows what occurred. The judge has heard the testimony. The judge knows what he feels. He knows what was presented in court as evidence, and he held on to him once.
Ahead of the sentencing, Diddy's children asked the judge to show their father mercy, and defense attorneys played an 11-minute-long video showing Combs in and out of the spotlight over the years. But prosecutors say Combs deserves at least 11 years in prison and accused him of downplaying his alleged violence, saying, quote, this isn't just a case about freak-offs or hotel nights. It's a case with real victims who have suffered real harm at the hands of the defendant. They also slammed Diddy for booking a speaking appearance in Miami next week, apparently expecting a lighter sentence. Combs also faces dozens of civil lawsuits with allegations of sexual assault and abuse over decades. In New York, Connor Hansen, Fox 2 News.
A end in sight for the government shutdown after another failed vote. I'm Rebecca Castor in Washington with the latest impacts coming up.
Score big.